thread. But nonetheless, I have at least 3 reasons, I hope qualifications, for writing this book. I've talked to thousands of stressed-out moms. In my decades of private psychological practice, many stressed-out women have come to my office with complaints that all boil down to one question. How can I keep from checking into the loony bin? In most cases, these women could be described as not only stressed out, but also draped out, with young children. A common sight coming through my office doorway is a young mother with a baby in one arm, dragging her left leg behind her as she tries to find a chair. Does she have a neurological disorder in her leg? Not exactly. A 2-year-old is attached to it. In addition to learning about women's stress problems firsthand in daily counseling sessions in my office, I have traveled the country for decades speaking to and talking with thousands of women who are right on the edge. Many are stressed out far enough to want to walk out, just up and leave their husband and children to find some peace and relaxation. I recently read an article in Women's Day that described the kind of mom I see all the time in my office or in church or school auditoriums where I speak. At age 37, with a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old clamoring for her attention, she wound up screaming in the shower for almost an hour, shouting, "I can't do it anymore. I can't meet all these needs. What about me?" It seems that today women have been liberated to join the workforce, but someone forgot to tell their husbands they were also liberated to help get dinner on. My files show a marked increase in women wanting to leave their husbands and families, something that was rare just a few years ago. So, what does all my talking with overstressed women accomplish? In hundreds of cases, I have seen firsthand how women can learn to minimize stress and make it a useful tool by getting positive control of their lives. My major purpose for writing this book is to share some basic practical ideas that will help you do the same. That's one reason I think I can talk about stress and women, but I have others. I've had a first-class teacher on stress and motherhood. That teacher, of course, is my lovely wife, Sandy, who has been giving me training in understanding stress in women for at least 46 years. For 43 of those years, we've been married, bringing up Holly, Chrissy, Kevin, Hannah, and Lauren. But she began training me even earlier than that. During the 3 years we dated before saying I do, Sandy taught me a great deal about the tremendous differences between men and women. While advocates of the feminist cause accomplished much that I applaud, one big mistake made by some of their more radical spokespersons was the claim that there are no real differences between men and women. They equated equality with sameness. If there is anything I want to communicate in this book, it is that men and women are different, and vive la différence. In fact, I guarantee that when a husband becomes truly aware of the generic, physical, and emotional differences between his wife and himself, he will be a better husband. One obvious difference between men and women centers around sexuality. I see men constantly ignoring this difference, usually out of ignorance. I sympathize with a man who is baffled by his wife's lack of enthusiasm for sex when he wants it, because I was very naive myself during the first years of our marriage. I thought the greatest thing we could share together was copulating. Sandy taught me that the greatest thing we could share together was communicating. She taught me that a woman likes to be held and loved, but not pawed and used. And she taught me that sex is a beautiful experience to share together as a natural result of communicating and loving each other. Sex is not to be simply the gratification of a natural urge. Another part of my home training has taken place in Sandy's absence, when I have had to walk in her homemaker shoes for as long as a day at a time. I remember one of those training sessions quite well. Sandy left early in the morning and was gone all day, finally walking in at 10 minutes to 5.